Nice Friday stream. Gonna do the same stuff I was working on yesterday. That is mess around with FFmpeg, Babashka, and Clojure to make animation tools and video editing stuff. Just wanna get some of that on the books, so that'll be the focus for the day. And I've been working a little bit on it, trying to get some title animation stuff and trying to figure out how to make this animation work the way I want. And that's the story right now. So I'm gonna run this animation here and hopefully it works okay, and I'll see what's up. While that's happening, I'm gonna tweet and all that junk. Right, so that is running. One thing that's pretty weird that I don't have like a good solution for yet is it generates PNGs by using Image Magic, which uses Inkscape, and anytime it generates an image, it shows Inkscape running in the taskbar, so you just see tons of instances being spawned, doing a thing, and then exiting. And I don't know, I think there's probably a smoother way to do that, but I don't know how yet or what's going on with it. But it leads to some weird visual behavior in the toolbar here is all. Trying to see if I can get a nice animation to work. Hey, happy Friday, Mike. Excuse me. Hope you're doing well today. I am trying to get things to work here. There we go. There, cool. That's an animation right there. Doing pretty well, Mike. How's everything going on my end? Yeah, things are good. I'm trying to think if there's anything new. Nothing particularly new. I'm just in a good mood. My roommates are doing well. Getting outside. All the same old, but I'm just in a good mood, you know. Oh, I shaved. So the beard's gone. I mean, it'll be back in like a week, so it's not like that's a big deal, but I forget that I shaved, so I'm always like confused when I look in a mirror or at the camera. But yeah, otherwise just taking it easy, you know. Nice looking clean cut. Yeah, I don't mind it. Baby face, although not quite. It's still got that shadow, you know. I just have I have plenty of hair, but not enough up here. It's all everywhere else. It's a curse. I'm not. It's funny to me. It's not. I don't actually mind. I like my hair and how it looks and all that. I'm comfortable with myself, and it just does make me laugh that I can, like, my beard grows pretty quickly, but then there's no hair right here at all. It's like it's so close, body. You could have done it. I like my hair the way it is. No complaints at all. Better than me. My beard grows in patchy. You've got a full head of hair. You'd trade for a good beard. Oh, really? Would you? So that's interesting. I bet I would guess, or my assumption would be that most people would rather have a patchy beard but a full head of hair. But I guess to each their own, right? It's all the same stuff. You can make it look good if you want to. It's all up to personal preference, I guess. I cannot say I've got a patchy beard problem though. It's only patchy if I slip with the shaver, then there's a little spot out. I don't know if you have it, but when I grow my beard out, I have like brown hair, but you can see, like, I can see white, blonde, red hair, dark brown, lighter brown. Like, I get the full spectrum of hair colors in my beard. It's pretty wild. Okay, so I just compiled this animation here. It's like a nice draw animation. I think it looks pretty sweet. So what I want to do next is make a function so that I can pass different text into the animation, so I can use that animation for title sequences. Excuse me. Suffer from bad baby face. It looks a lot more round without a beard. Drops several points in looks without it. I gotcha. Yeah, the beard can like really frame the face in a nice way, right? You know what? Nothing wrong with the way people look in general. A human looks like a human, and the uniqueness of what you look like it's good. But if you like a beard, you like a beard. I like a good beard too. I'm sure your baby face isn't all that bad. Okay, so this draw animation, it takes this function in here, and I've hard-coded the text that's used. For sure, you don't pull off clean shaven very well. You grow out a beard for No Shave November. Your wife wanted you to keep it. I'll be divorced if I shave it. Yeah, you know what? When it's when it's more than one person making the call on your beard, then then the beard stays, right? Love it. Oh man, that's funny. Okay, so this animation is extremely simple. I looked up this person, Cassie.codes. I'm not sure. Oh, it's a little bit older, but it's still relevant. They explained how they made dash animation, like, pardon me, a stroke drawing animation. So where's it good? Right here. If you vary a stroke dash array and an offset, you can make a path kind of animate in and out as if it's being drawn. So I use that principle right here. I've got the dash array set to a number, and then I animate the offset based on the eased time function. So t goes from 0 to 1, and then I just parameterize t with ease in out cubic, which also goes 0 to 1, and I get new t, and so I get that there. And then the effect is, once you compile all the frames, is exactly this here. So that looks and works really nicely. Good help from Cassie Codes. And that's the principle I want to use to make a function that does drawn title. I don't know what to call the effect, but I'm going to just make, I guess I'll call it draw title. because why not, right? And text is right here. And the only other thing that might be good is the ability to you know what, I'm not going to worry too much about it. That's a really cool animation. Going to use that for your intro to videos or something. Yeah, probably some variation on this thing for my intro, yes. To tie it into what I was doing yesterday, where I was doing layering of videos and cutting from YouTube videos, I'm also going to use this with the overlay compositor thing to make little titles per clip in the next highlight video I make. So this is a component in the highlight clipping pipeline I'm making, but absolutely I want to use the same idea for YouTube content in the future, right? Once you've got the function working, you can use it kind of wherever. So pretty happy with that. So let's make this DrawTitle function. It's actually going to return a function. So I'm actually going to just take this. Very simple. So this function returns a function that expects a t value, but all it does here actually is really simple. It just does text like this. So you can very simply draw. Let's see. The only downside with this is the stroke dash array length is dependent on the shape and size of the thing you pass in. So this might not be generalizable yet, but I'm going to figure that one out in a minute. Because it might be possible to animate a different parameter, which is like percentage of the stroke being drawn. I don't know. I will figure that out in a minute. But let's try a new draw animation here. And we'll build this map. Draw2 is the name. Frame rate, we'll do 24 to keep the compile time for the animation a little lower. We'll go for a duration of 3 seconds. And the graphics function will be, oh, I have to specify this below DrawTitle, but that's okay. Will be DrawTitle hi Twitch, sure, something like that. Okay, so that's the animation map, and now if I run animate, draw anim2, now I gotta let that run. So one downside to how I'm doing this is the idea is not usually to do it while I'm streaming because it's a long running process. And I'm not doing it asynchronously or anything. I'm just running it in the REPL and waiting for the result. In the future, there's almost certainly ways that I could make that a little bit better, kind of put it in a background process so that I can still be working on whatever. The other thing, when I'm running this animate, it converts for every t value that's created, it makes an SVG data structure, passes that into ImageMagick, which converts it to, oh, I think something may have gone wrong, but we'll find out in just a minute there. It converts things into PNGs, but it spawns, oh, it actually worked. Cool. That was pretty sweet. Right, so that works. That's pretty great. First try, call it a stream. Yep. I'm surprised just it was a little faster than I thought it would take. The key thing here, the number of frames that you need to generate will slow down the whole process, right? The two factors that speed up or slow it down, the total number of frames is the frame rate times the duration, so frame rate is in frames per second, and then duration is in seconds. So you multiply those two numbers to get the total number of frames that need to be generated. So for instance, if I do a 6-second clip with 60 frames per second, that's 6 times 60 total frames. That's 360 frames, where every single frame spawns an Inkscape instance, and then it uses Inkscape to rasterize into the PNG. So it's not necessarily an efficient approach, but it does work. You can eke out some extra performance with multi-threading if you want to go that route. Yeah, that's the thing, right? I know there are ways to improve it. I just don't need to yet, so I'm not. The closest thing to multi-threading is I have a Pmap, which is parallel map in the animation here. So animate here does two things. It generates the frames, and then once all the frames are generated, it compiles that into a video by doing an FFmpeg call on the frames. So here, this is where the bulk of the actual time is spent. And here, I use Pmap create the frame with the frame function. So this here, you can see it working because it spawns. The thread pool is like, I don't know, 20 by default. Like there are better ways to do parallelization in Clojure, but this is like the quick and easy way to do it. So this ends up spawning in parallel like 20 or to 30 Inkscape instances. So it does 30 frames simultaneously. Then then the threads run their thing, and then it does 30 more and 30 more. So it saves a bit of time, but it slows the computer down a bit because it is running a lot of Inkscape instances. So that's what I mean. Maybe there's a way to keep a single Inkscape instance going, and then that might even be faster, you know? So it's fine to just get it working first, though. You like doing the dumb solution first for a couple reasons. One, I'm not smart enough to make it optimized in the first pass. Two, I really enjoy optimizing and seeing performance gains. I have exactly the same approach. I've said it on stream before, just do the simple thing first, or do the dumb thing first. And that often is sufficient for what I need, or it's a really good seed on which to think about improving it little bits at a time, because I'm also not smart enough to do it in the most optimal way right away. I need way more time to think about stuff. Excuse me. So there's another thing that I know. So I'm going to rerun this animation for a moment. I need to reorganize this code a little bit because I don't, the ordering I have come up with makes no sense. But that's okay for right now, just hacking away. So what I actually want to do for DrawTitle, I think I don't want the background color. I think I want it to be transparent so that I can overlay it on top of video. So let's do that. And I'll animate high twitch. Let's bring it up to 4 seconds. That'll still be the title. That looks good. I wonder if purple would be a more sensible color to use here, because it's Twitch after all. right? Oh, yeah, and then I'll just make this 34 seconds. Yeah, okay. So let's animate that. Draw NM2. One thing that I know is a weakness in this video stuff that I'm working on is the argument, what's that called, function signature, the order and design of the arguments. I'm inconsistent right now. Some of the functions I have where you pass in a map, some of them you just pass in things directly. I want to actually clean up that interface a little bit so that I can build pipelines more generally with some of the functions that I have in here. And I feel like to do that properly, I need to design things around like maps as the inputs so that I can kind of dispatch functions on if they have certain inputs or not. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but let's try to refresh this. Oh, that's not a good purple, and it's also not animating it didn't animate the whole thing. That's a bit of a bummer. Weird. But okay, let's figure this out. Turns out that purple isn't quite the purple I want. Do I care? You know what? I don't care for right now. So let me just try this one more time. I'm a little bit concerned that it didn't animate the entire thing, and I don't know why that would be. So if it has exactly... Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if... Yeah, probably take a bit of refactoring. If you're able to add an effect to the drawing so it looks like sparks flying from a plasma cutter cutting into metal, that'd look really neat. Not sure if it's possible to do though. Oh, it's definitely possible. There's got to be a way, right? So the thing that would... So I would have to change a thing or two. And that would be the path itself. I would need a parametric function in T to trace it. And then what I can do is run a translate function. So I could translate, like I could say put a circle, and for every time step, it would calculate a new position based on the percent complete of the path tracing. Then that circle or whatever, I could have a little animation attached to that thing as well. So it would be little flakes kind of, or stars or whatever, moving rapidly and then disappearing. And then that whole group could be translated along the path. So you could actually make it work kind of well. I'm not going to do that today, but the idea works. Okay, so I don't know why, but sometimes when I run animate, it doesn't animate the whole thing. So that's something I need to figure out. But I'm not going to worry about that at the moment, because the thing I actually wanted to make sure works is this layer tool. So I'm pretty sure it won't completely, because I have an off by 1 error with the positional offsets, which I'm going to fix in a minute. But until then, what I actually want to do is layer, save a file, test.mov, and what I want to do is layer 2 clips. Yeah, they're going to be file, clip 001-BB. Actually, let's do this. SB. Oh, that's wrong. And it's X0, Y0, Z0. And then here, this file is going to be on top of it, and it's going to be drw2.webm, this animation that I just made. And X0, Y0. I just realized I might have to change some things, but that's exactly why I'm doing this. Oops. Right. So that didn't work. No such file. Okay. Oh, I see. Nope. This one. Oh. I did it wrong. This Z has to be 1. Okay, that outputs something. So let's open test.mov. No? No dice? What did they call this? Uh-oh. I thought I gave it maybe I just typoed something. And I'm going to comment this out for a minute. Oh, it is here. Wow, that's impossible to see. See that? High twitch is in there. And I'm going to comment this out for a minute. That's so hard to see. And, but it does work. Yeah, it's hard to read. So that's just a matter of, that's a contrast thing. Also, do you like the hideous background I put on there? It's very funny to me. So this is exactly the kind of thing I wanted to... This is proof that it's more or less working, right? So the pipeline now is built around 10 out of 10 best background ever. It's not a good one. So the pipeline is basically working. Get YouTube URL clips and durations in a list. Download all of those clips and modify those clips to have the border background that I want. Then overlay a title onto those clips. So that's 4 steps. And then the final step is concatenate all of those final clips into a final single video. So the pipeline is almost all there. Let's see the tweaks I can make to the layering, because the layering isn't working exactly right yet. And we'll go from there. Set purple, not a great contrast. That's okay, I can work on that. Can also make things bigger if I need to. So it might also be fun to do... Oh, no, I don't think so. I was gonna say it'd be fun to do random colors, but I'm not sure that I want to do that. Let's just not for the time being. So here, could do that if you had a list of confirmed working colors. Randomly pick one by its number in the list. Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea. So I could have like, I could have a list of colors from a theme or like what do designers do? They like get a 5 primary colors in their design palette. A palette, that would be it. I could basically make a palette and then have it randomly sample from the palette so that they would always look okay. That's probably a really good idea. I like that. And I'll do that later. Let's do one more of these animations. I'm gonna let this start running itself so that I can get a final appearance of this. Actually, wait, before I do that, I have one idea. Let's go out.html. I can sample the color here. Stroke blue. Yes, okay. Purple, light purple, light pearl. Is there only one? Lavender. That's not it. What's like a light purple? A lot of these colors do look pretty good. Lavender, mauve. Let's try mauve. Mauve? Oh, there's... Mauve looks pretty pink. It looks like hot pink. Unless I... Magenta is like grossly purple. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. Twitch purple RGB values. Let's just go to the source. Twitch purple. I don't need RGB. I could just use the hex code. That'll work too. Oh boy. I don't want anything fancy. Oh, this is too much. Ugh, that was horrible. Let's just do this. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I feel that the internet and the web is just too much. There. It's not too bad. Hey, wow, so clutch. Oh, hey, Mike, if you get a chance, could you ban and delete that? Yep, thank you. So wow, so clutch. The lack of precision in Visio is giving you OCD right now. What is Visio again? Is that a Microsoft product? Also, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well, despite being frustrated with programming or a program right now. Mike, thanks for getting that bot. I appreciate that. Very helpful. Yeah, doing diagrams and stuff. Ooh, I can imagine the lack of precision being frustrating. Visio diagrams. Is it a web tool? I can't remember anything about it. Oh, no, I see. Yeah, sorry you have to deal with that. It always drives me nuts when, if you've got a box, but then the arrow going into it, say at the top or at the side, isn't nicely centered, and if the text doesn't line up in a nice way, oh man, I have a hard time doing block diagrams for all of those reasons. Right, so where am I at here? Oh yeah, let's go. Okay, so this is the one that needs to be improved. When I zoom out incrementally, it zooms out to 101% every time. And you have to specify 100. Yeah, I feel your pain. It's extremely frustrating when stuff just doesn't make sense. Oh, Mike, that is really smart. A block term. Good call. I think what those bots sometimes do is they auto block. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Sometimes the bots they use I forget what they're called, but there's a term for it where you use lookalikes. So it's like a symbol that is not the letter A, it's something different, like a acrylic thing that looks like an A. So then they can use all of the incorrect symbols to still spell out a legible English word. So that term will probably work, but not completely. But that's, it's definitely better than nothing. So we'll go from there. Okay, right. So this here, I changed it to 2 pixels and I changed the color to the Twitch colors just for fun. And we'll go from there. So now I'm going to animate draw anim2. 4-second, 30 frame rate. I'll just keep adding to the list. Don't mess with the developer who has the power of regex. I love it, Mike. That's perfect. While this is running the next animation, I'm going to go to the washroom for a minute. I will be right back. It won't be long. There we go. Wow, so clutch. You posted a meme. Now I have to check this. Let's see. Is it a wholesome meme? Let's see. Also, wow, if you're still tuned in, what are you trying to diagram with Visio? Is it like work related stuff? Oops, accidentally opened it up twice. Still here? Cool. My computer is just taking its sweet time today. All right, we've got, let's see if this animation actually worked. That doesn't look like the Twitch colors. Why is that wrong? MS Paint, Visio, AutoCAD, MicroStation. Love it. Absolutely. The funny thing is that's like the progression that people take a lot of the time, like when they're trying to diagram things out professionally, you know? It's a pretty niche meme, but I get it. No, the color's supposed to be here. 9146FF. What I'm actually wondering is, so this could be a color spacing issue. Like I'm specifying things in RGB, right? Like it actually, I don't know what I'm not sure. When I use PNG overlays with FFmpeg, it's possible sometimes that the color space is actually off, so then the colors are not what you would expect. It's also possible that I forgot to re-evaluate this with the proper color in it. That is entirely probable. Let's change this to hello Twitch. How about that? So now I know new animation. Let's try it one more time. I promise once that's done, I don't care. I'm gonna try put together the layering stuff. Yeah, Clutch, memes related to programs and CAD related stuff like that, I'm sure are don't have a huge audience, right? Not sure it's the right color. You might be right. I also am not worrying too much about it, to be totally honest. Here's where I got that. Twitch, meet your new Twitch brand, and then some of the text here has Twitch purple, and then it says this here. But here you've got this here, 644 1A4 1A5. I don't need it to be like literally exact. Ugh, another, it's too busy again. See here, so there's brand.twitch TV. It's showing up here again as well. I don't know. I'm not going to be too fussed about it, to be totally honest. There we go. Ah, see? So this is the... See this? How the lines didn't finish? I don't know why. Sometimes it only animates half the thing. I don't understand that. So if I run it again, I think it'll work this time. So I have to figure out what's going on there. That's just a little strange to me. But I'll get there. I would also love, it'd be really cool if I could figure out a way to preview this in a web page, or like, so I don't have to wait to run the animation every time. And I don't know how to do that yet. I mean, probably I could make a little JavaScript loop that recalculates. I could probably make something like maybe a reagent element that runs on a timer, but that's a problem for another day. Yeah, because once this one's done, I'm moving on to layering. I'm gonna get layering going, try to figure it out. It's still that's frustrating to me that it doesn't work exactly. Oh well. Let's start clearing out some of these clips a little bit. Let's remove draw. Actually, we'll keep that. That's good enough for now. Good enough for now. Okay, so layering. There's a color palette file in the asset zip folder on the Twitch brand site. That's good to know. I'm not going to download it now. I'll look at that one later maybe. But thanks for that tip. Okay, so trying to think. I'm just thinking about what to do next. Oh, right. Okay, I'll fix the layering. And by fix, I mean I'll show what needs fixing. Layering probably should go way up here too, now that I think about it. Okay, so there's a few things happening here that I think I might not use the Z index, at least for right now. I won't worry about it. I can add it later if I want to. So the thing that doesn't work with layering is the positioning, and I want to fix that. So let's see if I can show you what I mean by this. Is the cutout of the H and W on purpose? No, so I don't know why yet. I have to figure it out. This is oh, Mike's got the answer. This here is supposed to be a 4-second long animation. I don't know why. It sometimes makes the correct full-length animation, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't figured it out. If it's the correct 4 seconds long, this will complete. So that's just an artifact of a bug I haven't solved yet. See that? So you can imagine the full complete animation just finishes that draw to the close there. But before then I was going to work on fixing up the layering, and I'll show you what I mean by it being broken. So example layers here. If I take the layer filter complex partial function, which is a private function, so no one needs to know at the end of the day what it does, but what it does is build the string, whoops, oh, oh right, I have to, oh, that's not what I meant. I meant to do this one. Apparently that is also wrong. Sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. What? I am being a little bit silly. Let's just do this. We'll leave it in for now. That's what works. So I'll do that. And then I'll show what isn't working and go from there. Okay, so this function here, layer filter complex of example layers, builds out the shell call string for the filter complex. And if I map print line to this result, please. There. No, what? Ugh. Slow day in my brain today. Sorry. String join with a new line. Does that do? And then print line that. That's not ultimately that helpful, but okay. Right, so let's, while I'm here, I'll do it this way. Okay, so filter complex. There, okay. A little bit better. So what I've got going on here is the structure of this filter works this way. 0V and 1V are the input videos, and then they get overlaid onto one another with their position 0, 0, and then they are given a name over 1. Then that's now a video with a single layer put on it. The next layer gets added to that video here, and then that's the next video, and then it gets overlaid with its coordinates x, y, and then it gets a name over 002, and then the same thing repeats so that you get all 4 videos layered one after another. So 0V, 1V, 2V, 3V is the last one, and then the last one doesn't need a name because it is the final output of the filter complex. So that's what's happening here. Now what's broken is it's using the wrong coordinates. So this 0, 0 is the coordinate position for the first video file. But the way the overlay filter works is it's supposed to be the position of the video on top. So what this is supposed to be is 2020 as of right here. Then this one is supposed to be 500, 500. And then this one is just by coincidence correct. It's supposed to be 500, 500, but it's getting it from the wrong spot. So I have to rebuild this complex partial and filter complex function so that it's putting the correct numbers in the correct spots. Comprend? Okay, so I have to think about doing it correctly. So, I should really instead do something like this, where so n being z, which I probably should change, but for the sake of just getting something working right now, they are the indices, basically. So Z0 is the 0th position, so that's good, right? And what I'd prefer to do okay, so it does mean got to think through this a bit. So okay, what I actually want is something more along the lines of, sorry, I'm trying to get my head in the game here. So let's imagine that I do this something, let's do it a little differently. So if I want to do it not 0 indexed but 1 indexed, do I know what I'm talking about? No, I don't. I can make n inc. This is really messy. I'm certain once I have something that there will be a much cleaner way to do it, but I'm just talking it over to think out loud more than anything. So if n is 1, you get, so I also probably don't need a cond here, but whatever. This also, I have to swap to the same thing here. Could you put up the output you need? Yeah, so this here is the output I need from this function. So what I'm trying to make it do is, for this partial here, if I say n equals 1, I want the output to be a string that looks like this: 0v, 1v, overlay equals the value x from that same layer, the value y from that layer, shortest equals 1 is just hard coded, and then over dash dash n here. So that's what I need. Then if I have a situation where n equals count of layers, so the highest value n, then it needs to output something a little bit different. It needs to output this. So this needs to be over n minus 1 n, then overlay x from n, y from n, shortest equals 1, hard coded, and then no end condition. So that needs to happen there, and that should not be too difficult, right? This should not be inc n, this should just be n. I think probably I'm still going to get a slight indexing problem with this, but I'll sort it out as I go. Right, so we've got 0, 1, 0, 0, shortest equals 1, with a name over 1. That makes sense. The next line is going to be over 1 with a video 2, overlay 2020, shortest 1. Now what happened to the rest of them? That's the question in my brain. Right? It's almost, so I'm missing, oh, I must have done something silly. Oh, here. N max should actually just be n layers minus 1. See, this is what I mean. I probably am needlessly adding and removing things because I'm not paying close attention. I'm just trying to get something that works. And then I can fix it up a little bit later. So let's have a look at this output here. So given example layers here, also this is a horrible place to put this branch. I'm just gonna put this up here. For now it's just rough notes, right? So here, given example layers 0, 1 should this is still wrong. Oh. Okay, so I don't know why this is so hard for me right now. I'm just struggling right now, but I'll get there. so just doing this the brute force way. These numbers are wrong, but I can fix that in a minute. This is correct. It ends without without a new name being given to it, and it has the correct offsets here. This one has the correct offsets here. Numbers here are wrong, but I'll fix that in a minute. This is correct. It's got 2020. So these are showing up in the right spots here. The correct number of portions of the filter are being created, but again, using the wrong numbers here. So here, for example, I need it to have 0V and 1V, but that doesn't exist, so that needs to be fixed. So in this case, that's because this should still be, let's see, does that make sense? I don't think so. Right, so I've got -1. Yeah. Right, so, excuse me. So when n equals 0, I know, oh, let's go like this. And then brute force it and fix it all later. That's fine by me. In fact, I'm just going to keep this like this for posterity, but I think I don't need it. So for when n equals 0, I don't need to format this at all. It's actually just going to be a string with 0, 1 hard-coded in, because that's true always, so we do that. So this first one is now correct. It's got 0 and 1, and it pulls 0 and 0 from here. The only problem here is this. I need to have another thing here. When n is 0, there's another hard-coded value. It's going to be over 001. That's good there. So that means this should be inc n. See if it's right. 0, 1 overlay 0, 0. Shortest equals 1 over 1. So it's still wrong here. This is 0, 0. That's because when n equals 1, wait a second. Oh. See, this is what I mean. I'm not thinking through this very carefully. This is a thing that I'll do off stream. Would it not be easier to map indexed over partition to one of the list? You might be right. It probably would be. In fact, I probably will refactor it to something like that. 2, 3. I'm also still doing it wrong. It's still wrong. Oy. Okay. Right. Partition 2.1 of example layers. Right, it pairs everything off, like you're saying. How does map indexed work again? This is not going to work. Need a mapping function like this. Function taking index and item, index item. I'm trying to look up other examples, Clojure docs, because it's I appreciate your explanation. It's not clicking up in my head. That's all. So something like that is pretty good. Your mapping function is passed the index and the item in that order. Right, so the reason vector, if I run vector with map indexed, that's because what I'm actually passing it one at a time is this. So for the first item, the arguments to vector end up looking like this: 0 and first from example layers, because 0 is the index of the first item in the sequence going through it. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's very helpful. I'm going to write myself a little note here. Note on map indexed. Works the same as map, but we'll give two args to the function you are mapping. They are the index of the item and the item itself. So map indexed vector of A, B, C returns, it can only take one collection. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Works similarly to map. So this is a layman's explanation. I'm just helping myself conceptualize it. The thing about Clojure is there's a lot of really helpful functions that I don't know necessarily when they make sense. And then I just have to, over time, figure out, like, I have to do things a more clunky way. Oh, F-bombs, I have to allow those in the chat, apparently. What was I saying? Yeah, this happens to me a lot in Clojure. Like, I'll do things, so I'll do things in a way where, like, I figured out how to do something. Didn't know it would auto add it to the permitted terms. Yeah, so if there's a blocked term with the auto mod feature, it lets me know, and then I can choose to allow or deny. Like, I can see the whole message, and if I allow it, it will auto permit the particular term. So I wish there was a way to allow messages without, I don't know. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I don't use a ton of swear words myself, so I don't have a strong policy around swearing in the chat, but this is Twitch with adults, so swearing is basically okay as long as we're not being horrible to each other. Mike, just make a judgment call. Like, it's context dependent, right? I avoid them myself a lot of the time. I do say it occasionally, and it's okay to use in the chat. I'm going to say it's fine. Do not worry about it. It was just automod blocked because it hasn't happened a lot. That's all it is. It's I'm just the reason is not because I think swearing's bad. I have no problem with swearing. Like, off stream I swear a lot. The real reason is it keeps, if I want to edit highlights or show little bits of what I'm doing to some audience of any kind, if there's not a ton of swearing, it's just a little more generally accessible to show to other people. Does that make sense? Swearing's fine. I won't do much of it out loud on the stream, but in the chat, go for it. As long as we're nice enough to each other. Oh, Nazer here. Map indexed can be replaced with map, where the first collection is range, like map function range, as BSCS. Right, and so in that case, defeats the point, but yes. I'm just going to finish this note about map index. Mike, did I answer your question? Deny swear words or judgment call? I think I said judgment call, right? You do it on a case by case. If we're swearing about programming or just using it in colloquial ways, I think it's fine. If we're swearing at each other and being if we're like attacking one another, let's not do that because it's just not helpful. Cool. Okay, right. So this would return 0A, 1B, 2C. I think that's right. Because you can think of it like this. Vector, index, item. So for the first item, vector, there. It's like vector 0, A. And so on. So that is, these rough notes I write to myself, I don't often do it like to the most technical high degree of accuracy. I do it so that I understand broadly how it works. Because being overly technical in a note that I might not ever read again is not worth the trouble. And just trying to put it into words at all helps put it in the brain too. So I'm not going to be too fussed about that. And Nazar, Dr. Chops over here. Let's see. Map F range. A's, B's, and C's. Let me try to understand this here for a second. Map identity range. Oops. If I could type properly. I feel like I'm missing what you're trying to say with this range thing. And I guess identity doesn't take, if I cheat this, am I thinking about this wrong? Sorry if I'm just making obviously wrong things. You know what? I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna forget that for now. This is a whole big mess. So let's see if I can fix this. Right. So let's redo this. Let's do it down here like this. Def and dash, layer, filter, complex, partial. What a great name. Dash broken. There. And we'll do this. We'll give it layer A, L previous, L current, because why not? And let's just do it. Let's just do it dumb and easy, you know? And in fact, if I do it this way, I can just run this through the partition 2.1, map that directly, and I don't have to do any weird destructuring other than this destructuring right here. So that should be nice and simple. And so what I'm going to go look at here is I did earlier just easily explain this here. So when n equals 1, n being the 0 indexed layer number, okay? So when, let's actually just finish writing this. I don't know why I did that. I'm all over the place today. How's everybody else doing? Let's just write these out, because that's probably the smartest way to figure it out anyway, right? You can actually destructure those two further. Can I? Oh, like this? Keys or whatever? By their, is this what you mean? Yes. I have to look up keys destructuring. What's the name of this type of destructuring? Map destructuring? because I need to alias the keys to have different symbol names per layer. It is map destructuring. Yeah, thank you. Let me try to remember this. Oh, okay. So this would go like this. Previous Z, like this, right? I think this is correct. I'll find out in just a minute. Why did I do that way? I'm being a little silly here. Yeah, so I don't need the file name for this portion, so that would actually be it. This is wrinkling my brain though. The keys and the symbols are inverted from what they normally are. You can also do it. Let me see if this actually works, first of all, the way I think it does. Let's do PX. Oh, of course, these have to have a different name, otherwise it's pointless. PXCX, let's just return that. So let's just do this. Layer, filter, complex, partial, on. First example layers. Second example layers. If I could type, my life would be easier. 020. 020. Looks good. Need to change the last names. Oh yeah, I just managed to get that done. There is a name to alias the whole map yet, right? Oh, right, as. There we go. So as PL, as CL. This, I find this like very powerful destructuring, but honestly it wrinkles my brain. It's just hard for me to parse it for some reason. But that's working, so that's good. Sweet. I think this is so hard for me to parse just because I'm really used to seeing a map with key val like this, but then when you destructure the map here, you do it this way. You do symbol key, and it's not the same, right? Like you're not pulling a value, so I get that it's different, but it just totally messes with my head, so it's hard for me to understand it. But that is just that's a me thing. That's a me problem. Okay, so using all of this information, I should be able to sort this out just fine. So let's build a few little lets here. Let's let n be the number of the second layer you give it. So if I do count partition to 1 of example layers, I have 3 total items, right? So n will be, for the first pair, n will be 1, for the second pair, n will be 2, for the final pair, n will be 3, where that's also n max. So complex partial it does technically also need n max in there, I think. But let's let n be CZ. That seems silly to just rename it like that. I'll leave it there for now. That's... Oh, wait a second. Let's just do it right in here instead. Okay, so let me get a scratch here so that... Okay. N equals count layers, which equals max, over n minus 1, n, xn, blah, blah, blah. That's nice and simple. N equals 1, n equals 0, not, or should not happen, right? Because I want to start at n equals 1. So when n equals 1, you have 0 and 1 here. Overlay x1, y1, shortest equals 1, and over is n. That's for n equals 1. N, for the situation where 1 is less than n is less than n max, then you've got this system here where it's basically this. Oops. Except this is going to be over n minus 1. This is a horrible notation. This is n. Then this is x of n, y of n. And then this is over n. That should work, I think. There's my rough notes. Now let's try to put this in code, nice and simply. I feel really silly today because this is not like a particularly difficult thing to be doing, but for whatever reason it's a slow day in my brain. But when in doubt, take it slow and write out what you need, and then you can more easily put that into code. So that's what I was not doing right here, and that's what I'm trying to do right here, and hopefully that yields a good result. We'll see. I think it should be all right, though. I don't really need these aliased either, do I? I'll leave them in for now. I don't think I need them. Okay, so let's just cond it up right away. Okay, so if we just do n equals 0 is an empty string. Is that a good idea? Probably not. Let's do n equals 1 and get basically the hard-coded. When n equals 1, it's just this string. Like there's never anything different except for x1, y1, which is pretty easy. String, boosh. Oop. Clear as mud. I actually am pretty sure I don't need any. I don't need this one at all. Like, I need it in there, but I could just do this. And I don't technically even need it in there, right? I could just drop. I could just drop for. I could just do rest. If I have the whole thing, I just do rest, so I drop the first one. Does that make any sense? Anyway, leave it in for now. Figure this out later. Get something that works and go from there. Right? Right. Now, oh, also, look at me being wrong about how Lisp works. Wow. Okay, so we've got less than 1 n max, which is the most complicated looking one, which is perfect. Let's do it with this format junk. So we've got format. I say junk, it's not junk. It's good stuff. Okay, so when n is this, it's actually decrement n there, and then this is n v there, overlay equals cx cy. This is ugly, eh? Oh well. Shortest equals 1, and then format over %03d. This is also wrong here. We don't need that. We don't want that semicolon there. I do want the semicolon on this one at the end. And then this is also n. That's that hideous thing. But I'm not in the business of making it perfect right now. Then finally, when n equals n max, you do a similar thing. Let's copy this as a starting point, paste it there. You do get decrement n, then you get this overlay is the same, shortest equals 1, and then you just get rid of this format here. So surely I could have done this a little, I could have structured this a little bit differently, but let's go with that for now, and let's try to run it with this here. And then here, all I need to do is, instead of, yeah, so this stays the same, and then I map it, instead of over layers, I map it over, oops, partition to 1 layers. Let's give that a shot. Layer, filter, complex, example, layers. Okay, almost, but not quite. I'm gonna get myself some water. I'll be right back, and then I'll sort this out when I'm back. Right, I think what just happened here is the only thing I've done wrong is this has to be actually decremented by 1. That should give me the right result now. 0, 1 creates over 1. Over 1, 2 creates over 2. Over 2, 3 is the last one. So 500, 500, 500, 500, 20, 20. Backwards order. Okay, that looks like it's correct. So that's at least correct enough that I can move on to the next thing. It's about time. Let's delete that. And I don't love the interface of the whole thing. I think it's not clever. It's not that smart. I also wanted to have a time difference here, but I'm gonna not worry about that for now. So that'll just have to be okay. Because this layers thing will be good enough for the output I want to get right now. Excuse me. Which is, if I animate, let's go back to this. Let's see if this will work one last time. Draw anim 2. Let that run for a minute. You see all those Inkscape logos popping up? That's because when I rasterize the PNGs, it rasterizes it through ImageMagick, which opens up a headless Inkscape instance. But on Mac, I don't know why, it always pops up the logo or the icon, I mean, into the taskbar here. And it's spawning a whole whack at the same time because I do a bunch of frames in parallel. So it looks really goofy, but you can tell that it's running by just seeing the wave of Inkscape icons popping up, which I think is pretty funny. But now I'm pretty sure it's running FFmpeg because the Inkscape icons have stopped popping up. And then it'll be done at some point. What I would really love is a rasterizer that doesn't require Inkscape, but the thing about that is you basically need a web browser. Like rasterizing an SVG image is a little non-trivial. So let's try one more time this draw 2 thing. See, now it's 4 seconds, so that worked. And I don't know what the difference was. That's what I mean. It's a weird, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's a cool animation. Okay, so using that and using layer, I should actually be able to run that over top of something like, let's see. Let's layer something up. So weird that it is not deterministic. Yeah, I think I'll be honest, I'm not too surprised because it's like it is almost 100% side effects, right? Like I write hundreds of frames to a file directory. Each frame opens an instance of Inkscape. It's parallelized. It's very possible that it does actually write them, but then FFmpeg is trying to access them while something else is happening. I don't know. It's sounds like the parallelization is wonky. Yeah, it could very well be. I did it super naive, right? Like, in fact, I could, if I don't care about speed, which, I mean, let's be honest, I'm not exactly a speed demon here anyway. I can just get rid of that. Now it's a normal map, and now now it just does one frame at a time. And I wonder if that would improve things. It could, but let's make one more layer thing. Yeah, let's move this down and just edit that. Oof, come on. Okay, let's get rid of these. It's just going to be a 2-layer thing, but it should work. We'll use this clip, and then we'll use DRW draw 2, and I want to let's see if I can move it into the bottom left corner. So the X translate is going to be 0, but the Y translate is going to be 1080 minus 600, which is the height of this animation. So I'll just do that. 1080 minus 600. That should work. So let's do layer animtitle.mov. Did I? Yes, I did. Example layers. Oof. Exit status 1. Never good. Overlay has an unconnected output. Well, you don't say, huh? Let's see what we can do here. Layer, filter, complex of example layers. Shoot. Right. So the reason this is happening, so everything is working correct. Like this is the right video input here and here. This is the right offset in the Y direction. This is correct. And then this is even correct, but it shouldn't exist. Because I have this situation where 2 conditions are being met, and when cond has that, it does the first condition that matches. So can I actually solve this just by inverting the tree here? Is that gonna work? Oh no, shoot. So I need a more specific condition to handle this specific case, which is when, so this is n equals 1, that's what's happening here. I need a more specific condition, which is this a good idea? It's almost certainly not the smoothest. So when and n equals 1 and n equals n max, when they're both the same, then you do this. It's so messy, I love it. There we go, so that covered that condition. And now using that, this should work. There. I think. Okay, so that's not an error, that's good. What did I call it? Animatitle. So let's open that Animatitle and see if it looks like what I want it to. And I'm gonna comment this out for a minute. You see that? I'm pretty proud of that. That's pretty neat. Sweet. So that's stepping in the right direction, I'll say that. Oh man, I'm pretty pumped about that. That's pretty cool. So now to wire it all together into something that can happen in an automated fashion. Ooh, there's another problem. And I'm gonna see comment this after for a minute. 4 seconds. And you might hear audio still, but the video is frozen. And that is a problem with layers. Let me think about this. I actually think that's because of the shortest key here. Let's just get rid of it and try again. I think that will solve that particular issue. Yeah. But it will cause other issues if I'm layering static images, because those have an infinite length, and so will actually cause FFmpeg to try and encode indefinitely, which is a bit of a risky proposition. So I'm wondering if I should figure out a way. I don't know. First of all, I don't even know if I'm thinking about it right. So let's get rid of shortest in every case and see what comes of that. Ooh. Accidentally ran it again. Try it again, and we'll see if that fixes the issue. And I'm going to comment this out for a minute. And yep, that worked. Yep, that seems to be working. That's pretty good. So I should maybe put a little guard in there for it to ignore PNGs, or to give PNGs a set, like a default time, so that they turn into video effectively. I'll have to think about that. I'm gonna be okay with that for now. Assets is maybe a bad name, but I'll leave it in there for now. There's a lot of stuff that's like I'm doing it kind of a silly way, but I'm gonna leave it in there for the time being, and then just clean it up after I know what I need specifically, and that'll be okay. It is also my script project, so it doesn't, I don't need to please anyone except my future self with it. That's the target audience here. And I will say people seem pretty interested in this kind of stuff. Like I tweeted about a little animation thing I made with it, and it seemed to get a bit of attention. So it's fun to work on these little video projects and just catch a bit of interest. I like that. So here, let's do stream highlighting proto. This is a prototype pipeline for auto-generating neat looking stream clips. So the general flow is URL, time, start duration goes to clip, which goes to file. Ugh, this is not a good. So you get the URL, the start and the duration, you save the clip, then the clip goes into something like, heading out for the day, Mike. Have a good weekend. Yeah, Mike, thanks for joining and modding once again. I always appreciate it. Have a good weekend, okay? Grow that beard. Keep it keep it trimmed, keep it nice. Have a good one. So this clip goes to either border, blur border, effect, then this actually goes into a clip and animate title. This is hard to write because it technically is like a pipeline branch here. So these can happen in parallel. Actually, I'll just do this. I'll write it. I'll do one singular clip like that. So this goes to a blur border effect. Then URL start duration. Simultaneously, we'll create animate title. So then this and this let's call it A. This doesn't make any sense. Then you take A, B, then you layer A, B to get the final clip. And then after all clips made, concat clips. There. So this is the first little bit. Let's start with that. We'll def clips is going to be a vector of maps with clip takes what? Name, URL, duration. Hmm. Let's get something going here. Practice thing. Let's just kind of randomly select something here. Doesn't need to be perfect. Let's see. Sure, copy URL at current time. That's good enough. Oops, there we go. URL. Paste it. Duration, sure, 40 seconds, why not? And then the title is free CAD scripting. That title might not fit, it might be too big. This is a fine test clip though. So the thing I want to do is make a stream highlight clip. It's going to take I want to give a file name to the thing, and then I want to pass in clip map like this, and then I want to do all the crazy stuff with it. So in order to do that, I'm just gonna write them out in the manual way and then see what optimizations can be made. Let's start with, let's let the base name of this whole thing be GenSim temp. I don't think I really need to GenSim it, but I wonder if that makes safe file names. I think it does. Find out. That should be okay. So that's the name of things generically speaking. And what we do is first animate. Let name, let's do this, anim name. Like this, so that that's safe. Then let's do base clip name, string, base. Oh, let's change it around a little bit here. We do this, name, base clip, name is animation name, anim name, duration, let's do 4 seconds, and frame rate is 30 FPS. Let's actually do 5 seconds because that's kind of cool, I guess. Frame rate 30, that makes sense. And then the graphics function is going to be DrawTitle URL keys URL duration title. As clip. So DrawTitle title. So that's the animate. So that should save a file as name-anim. Then base clip is base clip name. Then we do transformed clip name, string name xf clip. So what that means is here, so we've got the title animation. Let's assume that's good. That happens. The next thing that happens is this set of things where you actually clip which takes a name, a URL, and a duration. So the name here is base clip name. The URL is URL, and the duration is duration. So that's the same. Then finally, the transformed clip is the result of blur border 2, which takes the base file, which is going to be base clip name, sorry, not blur border 2, just blur border, which actually only takes one base clip. And let me look up the file name, then the back width, back height, for width, for height. So that's gonna be like this. So the base clip name is that file, 1920 by 1080 and 1600 by 900. So that creates a new file name. And then here we wrap them all together with layer, which gives XF clip name. And you layer it with 2 layers, which is file, anim name. Oh, I actually need to do base clip name first. Oh, final clip name. Right, so layer saves final clip name. The file I need at the base is XF clip name x0, y0, z0. And then the next layer z1, let's do 0 in x and 1080 minus 600 in y. That's the layer. Let's see if this works. Cannot call clip with 0 arguments. What? I didn't? Alright, what did I do wrong? Oh. Alright, let's try this. Stream, highlight, clip. Oh, I should also do final clip name as the, like it outputs that. My bad, need this. Stream, highlight clip, clip. Okay, so it didn't work. That's okay. what's happening here. Let's see. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da. Okay. Which parts are going wrong? That's the question I have. And the best way to do that is with commenting things out. What is happening with this? Did I pass? What? What am I doing wrong here? Ugh, yeah, of course. I'm being silly. I'm being so silly. Animate. This. Let's give this animate a file name, why don't we? And see if that does anything for us. I also noticed that I did one thing a little bit wrong. But that's okay, it should still generate something if it all works. This is unfortunately the boring part of testing these things out, is you do still have to run an actual thing and see how long it takes and see how it looks and all that stuff, and you just hope it works. Just gotta be patient with it all. Once this clip is generated, that'll probably be it for me for the weekend, because I want to have a good weekend and I kind of want to start it a little early. Yeah, so once this is done, that should be it, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong, and that should be good. I think that's fair. I wonder if things have started to go wrong, naming wise. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see, move TMP 4430-final. Oh no. It doesn't exist. Let's see. I have to check if this will work now. Because I have a base clip and an animation. If it would be something like, so this data structure A. So it downloaded the base clip, that's good. It did not. I know what's wrong. I know what happened here, which I'm going to try fix and try run things one more time. And those things are as follows. So, this creates successfully a TMP animation. So let's remove TMP star. Let's remove anim title. Okay, we're getting closer to the right stuff here. Okay, so the things I need to do: base clip name, worked, transformed clip name did not work. Oh, no. That should be fine here, except here, this here has to be because blur border takes a file name. Yeah. So that's where my problem started. I need this to be string with .mov. Then we've got .mov here, and then final clip name we don't need because the f name of the result comes here, and we do f name like this. But this is wrong here. This needs to be anim name. And then this, just out of curiosity, oh, I already deleted it. Well, it doesn't matter, too late. Righto, let's give it a shot. There. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, I'm gonna go to the washroom, let it run. I'll see what's up. When I get back, hopefully it works. Looks like it's still running, which is usually a good sign. Although it's annoying if something fails late in a long-running process, right? So making sure this works reasonably accurately is important, and that'll be a bit of the weekend work. And I'm really hoping I can actually use this to make a video over the weekend. That should be pretty fun. I think that'll be a really cool project, and to start making it more robust and usable over the long term would be great, because then I can do stream highlighting kind of semi-regular, like almost automatically, which would be pretty neat, I think. But let's not get ahead of myself here. Let's see. So we've got the animation in. We've got the base clips in. So hopefully, oh, it should. The only thing it did not work. It didn't. Shoot, that's too bad. Well, let's see what the temp 4524-anim. Okay, so that works. It's obviously sized incorrectly, but so be it. That's fine for now. Why didn't this last thing work? That's the only question I've got. Well, let's see. Let's figure that out for a minute. Let's do this. We'll hard code the name of the file in like this. Temp 4524. And we'll comment out animate because that's done. We'll comment out clip because we've got the base clip. We'll even comment blur because I think open base clip BB. I think this works. It would be something like, so this data structure A built in two different environments. Yeah, so that's working. Amazing. And let's just try to get to the bottom of why this particular thing didn't work. Okay, so if we run this, exit 1, yeah. Yeah. Right, so here I need to do this. String .webm. Now if I do this, it should work. Yeah, seems to be running. Okay, so very clearly I need consistency. I'm mixing up the ideas of file name and name a lot, and then I have problems because of the file extension not being there when I need it to be there. So let's open ASDF and see if this works. It would be something like, so this data structure A, I don't have it loaded up in my REPL, but I could do
pretty much works
SCAD
the way I was intending.
It would make open SCAD code. I could write. Very cool. Okay, I'm extremely happy with that as a clipping method. Obviously, I want to work on a few things here. readability of this, but I can work on that. That's no issue really. Like, to do that, I can do something like this. Let's do one final animation. Where I also do something with this, which is oh yes, I know. Like this. This one has fill. It has stroke none. Text anchor middle still stays. This stuff I don't need. And here I give it opacity is going from 0 to 80%. So that's the new DrawTitle. So we'll do this one. And we'll animate. Draw anim 2. This should look okay. So the opacity of the fill of the text will go from 0 up to 0.8. So it should help with the contrast a little bit, I think. And I can kind of go from there, really. It should all work, I hope. Wonder if I can bounce it. It's not that important. I think the animation's almost done compiling itself, hopefully. Yeah, that's I mean, it works. I don't know about that. Anyway, those are things I can those are all things I can tweak and test as I go. That's okay. That is going to be all for me. Have a good weekend, everyone. I'll be back again on Monday. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this in some other capacity after the fact, please consider sharing the channel around, giving it a follow, all of that goodness, and help the channel grow. I would really appreciate all that. But that's it for me. Have a good weekend, everyone. I'll be back. Bye.